All right, Champions page, thank you so much for jumping on with us. Give us just one moment. We're going to be starting up in 1 sec with What It Takes with Amber Kuiper. So give me 1 second. We're just going to moderate some technical stuff really quick here in a moment, and we'll get this party started. 1 second, please. All righty. Okay. All right. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I'm just going to talk you through really what it takes really quick, what it takes is. Welcome to What It Takes. My name is Joe Carden. I am the regional manager of the Central Region. Here at Beachbody, we have an entire group of people dedicated to helping you reach your goals as coaches. If you are a diamond coach or above, check out FAQ 7581 to learn more about how we can help you hit your goals. What It Takes is a weekly mini-series here where we ask the same questions to elite coaches, and they talk about what it takes to become an elite coach. Today, on the Champions page, we have the one and only Amber Kuiper. Amber Kuiper is number 13 in the network out of over 400,000 coaches. She really is an amazing person. She's the co-creator of Take Back the Kitchen, and she's also a 2-time elite coach. So everyone, and including you, Amber, welcome to What It Takes. All right, so Amber, we have a few questions here to get started. The first question is, I guess before we get started, is tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so my story is that I have 4 kids, and when I joined as a coach, I had 4 kids under 4. 4 kids under 4. So my husband Jake and I were really just in this survival mode, and it was so crazy. Every day I didn't know what time of day it was, what day of the week it was. I was a stay-at-home mom and really drowning. I had always been pretty active, but after having our 4th, I just could not bounce back like I did after the other 3. So that's when I found Beachbody and, started with the 21-day fix, thought it was probably a scam, but I was super desperate. And so I started it and loved it, and I'm Dutch and I love a good deal. So I just joined as a discount coach to get a deal on Shakeology, and I had no idea, really no intentions of starting a business. Like I said, was a stay-at-home mom and was happy doing that, but didn't realize how I could be even happier if I paired coaching with it. And so that was 3 years ago. Really, I guess a couple months in, I realized that I had to share and pay it forward, and that's what I did.
That is so awesome, Amber. I love to hear that. That's cool. So you talked a little bit about how you got introduced to Beachbody, but when did the coaching opportunity really open up to you? You joined as a discount coach first, but what really got you coaching in the end?
I would say that I was plugged into a team page that had other coaches who were actively working. And I literally had no idea what a coach even was. But then it's kind of funny. I don't really even know how I got started other than I just wanted to help people. And I think because I had such a life-changing experience myself, and I knew what it felt like to be a mom and have no confidence and feel stressed out every day, I knew that I had to share it. And so as I kind of saw these other women sharing it, it gave me confidence to turn my discount coaching thing into a working business. And I just put it out there. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't go through a Coach Basics. I basically just shared, hey, this is working for me and it can work for you too. And I shared my story. But I really think it was just being raw and real and sharing what I had been through that inspired others to make the leap. And then I actively just started running monthly groups from there.
Okay. No, that's totally awesome. I think that this is 100% gold, honestly. Mom with 4 kids under 4, right? 4 under 4. Woo, man, that's quite the the task to be able to stay ahead of the 8 ball when that's the situation you're in, right? But also being able to find yourself through coaching is amazing. So I hope that really resonates with you that are watching right now. If that's your situation, if you feel like you are in a position where you don't have a lot of time but you felt like this has really helped you as well. Honestly, you can make it happen like Amber. So Amber, early on, just to that point, when you were first starting and you found that you did have, the kids and all of those things going on, to help these coaches, what did those early days look like for you? Like, how did you make that work?
Yeah, I mean, it was really just whenever I could sneak it in. I had a pretty good routine with my kids going where, they would nap at a certain time, all of them. And so I would work it during nap time, or I would get up early before they were up, or I would stay up late and work. But it was really it was sacrifice. I mean, it didn't just happen. I had to make that choice. But I think what kept me going was that people were relying on me, and that even though some days I didn't feel like doing it for myself, I didn't feel like, having that discipline, that there were other people who were watching. And so that kept me going. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't comfortable. I was tired a lot, but I mean, at the same time, I was so energized because I was involved and I felt like I was part of that community. And so I just snuck it in during, like we all say, the mom cracks, and some days were great and others were super stressful, but it was fun. So I kept doing it.
Yes, I absolutely love that. That's fantastic. All right. So here's another question for you. What do you feel like are some attributes or talents that that you have or that you've created that have basically you can attribute to some of the success that you've had?
I think, it all just comes down to sharing your story. And I feel like that's one thing that we talk a lot about on our team is just being authentic to what you're bringing to the table and not feeling like you have to have it all together or that you have to have a perfect solution, but really this kind of mentality of you're just failing forward and learning along the way. I was not a super disciplined person before Beachbody. It just wasn't who I was, but I've learned to become disciplined. And I think it was just always going back to leading with my story. And because when you have these raw and real experiences and you're sharing them, it's authentic and people trust you. And so really, if I had to say one thing, it's just being me and being unapologetically me and sharing the ups and downs and how life's not perfect and how I do struggle. But that makes me human. And I think those are the types of people that our team attracts to.
Yes, I love it. I mean, honestly, I think that, you mentioned on a few different things like helping people believe or helping people to have confidence. And really, as you are authentically you, that will happen. You know what I mean? That will totally happen. So I love it. That's great. Let's move to the next question. And that is, what advice do you have for a brand new coach who doesn't know where to start? Like, what can they start doing today that will help them have long-term success?
I would say they just have to start on their own personal journey, because part of having your own story to share is creating your own story. And so, picking a program and just deciding I'm going to do this from start to finish, it might not look perfect. Maybe you don't finish all of the workouts or you don't stick 100% to the eating plan, but you try your very best and you share that journey. And then just realizing that this is a long-term story, that it's not just something that's going to happen in a month, but you have to start somewhere. And so for new coaches out there, I would say keep it simple. We say this over and over again, but the 4 vitals really are there for a reason. And it's just all about picking a program, talking about it, getting excited about it, getting results, because like Chelsea said on the National Olympic Call this week, those results are what matter. Those things are something that no one else can take away from you. And my coaches who have really powerful results and they share their story emotionally as well, those are the coaches that get the fast start because people really trust them. Yes,
I love those tips that you gave. Honestly, that's the one thing that's so beautiful about Beachbody is we can hold our heads up high and be proud of what we do because we know that our products work very well if we're willing to toe the line and do those actions, right, and commit and create our own story. I think that's such a great tip. I love it. All right, so this one's I think going to be helpful for a lot of people who might be watching, whether that's you or whether it's people on your team. So, what about the coach who's struggling? That's thinking about giving up. What advice would you have for that person?
Yeah, I would say that, first of all, it's normal to have those feelings. I think, we tell ourselves in those moments when the world's crashing down that we're the only one that feels that way. But no matter how successful you are, I think we all have those moments of like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. Maybe life would just be easier if I just like didn't do that Beachbody thing or went back to life as normal beforehand. But in those moments, I always encourage my coaches to think back to why you started. Like, put yourself back to that first day when you said, yes, I'm going to coach, or yes, I'm going to start a challenge group. And remember how much this has helped your life. And just think through, gosh, if you keep going, you could give that experience to someone else. And I think that sometimes we have to remember it's not about us. It's about the people that we have yet to help. And when we can put that kind of cap on, I'm reminded that, gosh, if I stop now, what if this person down the line wouldn't get help, because I was selfish and decided to stop. And so kind of lean into that, know that it's normal to have doubts and to have fears, but also power through, maybe not for yourself in that moment, but for the person that needs you and that's kind of counting on you to do that.
I love it. I think that's a big deal. And honestly, that's our objective, right? Our objective is at Beachbody, our mission statement is to help other people live healthy and fulfilling lives. And I think that's what you just said is awesome. Okay. So last question before our speed round. What is the best advice that you would give somebody regarding your business?
Consistency really is the best thing that you can do to have a successful business. I think that we all start and continue to have different paces in the business. Some of us, will build really fast. Some of us will build slower. But the one thing that we can control is just consistency and showing up and, doing those vital behaviors and doing the things that we know we need to be doing is probably the biggest piece. And then just put your blinders on and know that your process is going to work. Trust the process, even if you're not having as high of success club points as someone else, or you're not, your rank isn't going up as fast as the person next to you. Like, trust that consistency will carry you further than just like these little bursts here and there. And consistency, I think, looks different for everyone, as far as how much time you put into the business. But I encourage my coaches to show up every day and do the vitals at least, like bare minimum. And again, that's going to look different depending on where you're at in your business, but consistency over time, like the only way you can fail in this business is if you just quit and stop doing the vitals. But if you're consistent, your business will eventually grow.
So I'm going to dig in a little bit on some of the vital behaviors, so on the inviting portion, on that specific portion, right? What does that look like for you and your team? Like, what do you recommend that they do as far as that vital behavior is concerned?
So we're all about building the relationship first. We don't send out a lot of cold messages, just inviting people to challenge groups, mostly because I think through what I would like to receive if someone was reaching out to me. And I just need to know that they really care about me first and foremost. And so we focus on really building those relationships through just being a genuine person. Like, I tell our team, our goal is to love on people regardless of if they ever purchase from us. And I think that once you get that in your mind and you don't have this thought like, oh, I'm just going to comment, so hopefully she buys from me someday and she joins my team. But no, really comment and be a friend. Like, just make friends. And once you love on people and you build that trust, if there's an opportunity for you to help them in their health and fitness journey, they will come to you and they will respond to your messages because you built that trust. So we do a lot of, what a lot of other teams are doing, just building the relationships on Instagram, but also Facebook is still a real big opportunity for us too. I know there's a lot of focus on Instagram, but you have to remember on Facebook, a lot of those people already know, like, and trust you, and they're your friends. And so I think it can be a little bit scarier to develop some of those relationships, but it's so important because when you can, again, just add that value and add that trust, then you will have those opportunities to have a real conversation. One way that I like to look at inviting is, like, what would you say to someone in person? Because I think that if you can approach every relationship that you have online, just like you would if you were talking to someone on the street, it becomes a lot more natural. I wouldn't walk up to someone on the street and go, hey, want to join this group? Like, that it would not be what I would do. Maybe someone else would, and that's great, but I wouldn't. And so I would probably start and ask, who are you? What's up? Like, what's going on in your world? Just kind of asking a lot of those questions, but just to humanize the inviting process, even though this is an online business, to really build solid relationships and build that trust.
I don't think that we could have gotten a better answer than that. I mean, honestly, this is a relationship business. And honestly, we're in the business of helping other people. We didn't quantify that statement by saying, we're only in the business of helping people if you buy our products, right? So I think that people can 100% feel that authenticity, and they can feel that you care, and that makes all of the difference. And that, gives them the trust and you to potentially join your team later, or to potentially join your challenge group later. So that is awesome. Okay, we have reached the speed round, guys. We're going to put Amber on the hot seat really quick here. So we're going to have some really quick questions that we're going to fire away to Amber, and we're going to see what she says. So first question of the speed round is, on average, how much time do you spend working your business per day?
I would probably say 4 to 5 hours a day at this point. Maybe 6 on some days. Jake would probably be like, I think it's more than that, but I think most of the time it's like 4 or 5 on average.
Good. I think that's great. That's awesome. Okay, what's your average SC per month?
My average would probably be like 50-ish, I would say, to average the different months. So. Okay,
so I'm going to temper this a little bit for you guys, okay? So Amber is like the top she's number 13 out of, hundreds of thousands of people here. So you don't have to hit SE 50, right? But That is cool that you do that. That's great. In 4 to 5 hours per day. All right, next question. What percentage of time do you focus on your business versus your team?
At this point, I probably would say like 60% moving my business forward, 40% team. I try to get that to be a little bit more 70-30, but it usually ends up being about 60-40. So. Okay,
good deal. All right, so next question. How many coaches do you enroll each month?
I feel like my sweet spot is about 15, 10 to 15. So I'm definitely, quality over quantity. I kind of know who I'm looking for and just go that route. So, yeah.
No, that's fantastic. I think that's great. All right. Last question from the speed round is random question from the hat. All right, so let's see here. We've got the little firefighter hat here, and I'm going to pick a random question. Let's see what we got. Okay, the random question is, what food could you not live without?
Oh my gosh, chocolate chip cookies for sure. Like, I eat healthy, but my balance treat is like my kryptonite is chocolate chip cookies.
I love it. Like homemade, or do you have a specific kind that you like?
So it's the cookie cake from Nestle. Is like, Jake and I do dessert once a week, and if we're gonna do it, it's usually that. So
cookie cake from Nestle. I love it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Amber, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your information with the Champions page. We really appreciate who you are and your willingness to come on here and help. So thank you, everyone, for joining What It Takes this week, and we will catch you all next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.